Bueno, acá estamos en vivo. Empiezo, hago la introducción en español, eh, mientras le aviso a nuestro invitado de hoy que ya estamos conectados. El mate preparado. Eh, bien, y vamos a charlar rápidamente. Les hago una introducción en español, eh, mientras vamos a tratar de conectar a, muy bien, a Andy. En español, rápidamente les cuento, vamos a hacer una charla con Andy Davi, que es el dueño, el general manager, además de Milwaukee Torrent, un equipo de los Estados Unidos, una institución que está creciendo, que en este momento está participando en la NPSL, en el aspecto masculino del fútbol, del soccer, y además en la WPSL, la rama femenina del soccer de Estados Unidos, por lo menos en esa división, ¿no? Bien, ahí está la pequeña introducción que hago en español y lo voy a saludar. Hi Andy, how you doing?
Hey Chris, I'm good. How are you?
Bien, I'm fine, very good. Andy, do you know even a little bit in Spanish or
Oh,
anything?
just nothing. Just a little soccer language that Cacho taught me, like adelante, rápido.
Right,
I
right.
still have problems with left and right because that what is left and right again?
Yeah, left is like your left hand,
Yeah,
right.
but how do you say
So you
this?
have
How do you say
you
this
have you
in
have to take a
Spanish?
look. Yes, right is derecho o derecha,
Yeah,
left izquierda.
yeah. So
So Andy is, like I said in Spanish just a moment ago, it's the owner and the general manager of the Milwaukee Torrent. It's a club, it's a team from the NPSL in the male soccer and
PSL,
SPSL. Yeah,
WPSL, yeah.
WPSL.
Hmm?
So your Torrent is currently playing in both the male and female soccer leagues, right?
Correct. Well, we
And
are a member. We are a member of both leagues.
yeah, Andy, like I'm Argentine, and English is not my mother language, but I'm trying to do my best. But you
It,
never know.
it's also not my mother language.
Okay, I
So
know you are
remember,
from Germany.
yes, correct.
And how do you start in soccer, in football? I would say.
I
How was your first you know the first time that you see a ball and you wanted to play? How was it?
well, I started with most of the kids who play at one point at a higher level or in general who have a dream to become a professional player. I started with the age of 3. I started with the
Wow.
age of 3, and I was obviously at this time lucky that I lived in Leverkusen. Everybody knows Bayer Leverkusen, obviously. And yeah, I went through their youth program, the complete youth, all the way up till the U18. And yeah, this is why all I can do is soccer.
Yeah. Torrent has so fluent link with Bayer Leverkusen now.
Yeah, we have this for a few years now. We go there once a year. Unfortunately, not this year. It would have been actually till last weekend, a trip where we always take U13 players to Bayer Leverkusen. We play a tournament. We use their facility. The kids have practices with the Bayer Leverkusen coaches. So, and then in the summer, and I hope we can still do it this year, we have between 4 and 6 coaches from Bayer Leverkusen. This year, actually, we're going to have 2 female players coming.
Yeah.
And we do a big camp here in Milwaukee, what is every year sold out. with almost always between 150 and 200 kids. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's the relationship that we have.
And that keeps you tied, in a matter of saying, to
Yeah,
your
it's
hometown, your
correct,
basic.
correct. Yeah, and it's obviously many of those coaches I know now for decades. I know the academy director for a really long time, and obviously because it's not a business relationship. It's really it's like you said, it's my hometown, and we're doing good things. Bayer Leverkusen will be a little bit more involved this year with the camp and stuff. So it's really, really neat that they do this. Obviously, they appreciate what I do here in the US for them. They obviously get we brand the brand Bayer Leverkusen. I mean, everybody knows the club, but it's not like they don't have they're not that well known like Munich or Dortmund,
Yeah.
Even that everybody knows the Bayer company.
But it's a big one. Yeah.
So yeah.
And we are living, the whole world is going through a crazy time. This pandemic, this COVID-19 thing, it's pretty crazy. We didn't expect anything like this. When we start the year, we start 2020 in USL Argentina, which is the social media that I'm running and trying to grow bigger in a way. We had a lot of plans, as probably you and the Milwaukee Torrent do. And from one day to another, everything changed. And how are you taking this day by day? In the midst of this situation, this strange, in a way, situation, how you manage to go on planning for the club, for yourself, in this particular situation?
It's tough. It's not easy because obviously with having a men's and a women's team, you give the men's. I mean, we had last year the highest level of soccer so far that we had with the Torrent. I mean, the players from Argentina, we had players from 11 different countries. It was basically their first experience with like a pro club, if you can say it this way, where an organization runs really, really professional. And then on the women's side, where we always had the committed players who are really looking forward to play in the summer for the Torrent. I made many decisions in my life, Chris, but this was the toughest decision that I needed to do because, as you know, we made that decision really early. We needed to make that decision early for everybody involved. And I didn't regret that decision at all, just because, I mean, you see how crazy it is. I mean, we would have played already with the men 3 scrimmages by now. And, and but like I always said, the first thing that comes is that the health of every player. That is the most important. We all have only one life. And it doesn't matter if it's the players, if it's the fans, the coaches, Locaccio, myself, the guests who are coming, the referees, everybody involved in a game. It doesn't matter if it's home or away. You have a responsibility. And I just didn't feel that we could offer a safe environment for everybody involved. And do I want to play soccer? Yes, I want to play soccer. That's all I can do. That's what I live for. It's just too dangerous. And even if it hurts, I just see here there's a question from somebody. Even if it hurts to do this, but I had a 10-minute video that I sent to the players that we didn't cancel the season so that they can go and play somewhere else. We canceled the season so that they stay safe. And the question is, I don't know if everybody can see it, how do the players keep motivated, in shape, and emotionally balanced? let's start with the female players. So the female players who come from the colleges, they have their workouts anyway with college, even that they can't go back to college. But I just talked yesterday with some of the girls from the team. They know that they need to stay in shape, because it's maybe from today to tomorrow they have to go back on the soccer field for the college, for the preseason and everything. And if not, I think, at least I can only talk for the college girls who work with us. They are all fine young ladies. They have a great character, and they know that they need to stay in shape. The motivation, I mean, it's with everybody who goes to a gym or do sports. You know, sometimes you have bad days, sometimes you have good days, but the motivation for them always is, now their goal is fall season. Okay. For the male players, well, I want to play next year for the Torrent. So what we did with both for the male and the female players, we grandfathered their contracts for next year. So that means, so whoever was about to play for us this year, we offer them right away, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen, they can play next year for us again. And this will be
both males and females.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is also, I mean, what many of specifically the female players, because they play now a few years in a row, what they like about us is about the way I do it. I'm a pretty loyal player, loyal person. So when you commit, you know, so, and it is really important that you create an environment where the players want to come back to. And I think in the last year, we really did this. We always, whatever we promised the players, we keep. It doesn't matter if it was with the housing or with everything, or if it was paperwork or jobs on the side, coaching jobs. We keep our promises. And emotionally balanced, that's the last part of the questions. I mean, that's obviously a problem for everybody. I have the last 2 days, so for me personally, are really rough. I mean, think about, I mean, I'm alone here in this country. I can't see my family. I can't go to Germany. Probably the next time, for example, I go home will be in December. That means it will take me a year till I come back home. I try to get in touch with many of the players as possible, keep them up to date, what's going on, what the plan is. I mean, you see we are so active on social media. We start now the esports thing. We try to incorporate our players to do stuff for the community when we work with the Boys and Girls Club, that they do some videos and stuff. And just really, we just have to try to, I mean, the one thing is, for all the people that are actually healthy, you need to say every day to yourself, look, I am healthy, I am okay, I do my best with, I'm stay home. And it's sometimes not tough, but as of right now, there are so many people who have it much, much worse than you and I right now. I mean, I don't know how the situation in Argentina is, but like I said, so when people, when
the same thing.
Yeah. So when players,
Sorry, just to give some context to your answer, which is pretty great. I mean, you explained it too well, but you have to take the decision about the club pretty early on this particular situation, and you were very bold, very firmly, and you had to make strong decisions regarding the 2020 season. And after that, and besides all the things that you told us, you have to start imagining a new year, like a lot of new plans, a lot of new things, like the esports, for example, another way of training, another way of keep the facilities in good shape. I don't know how it start to work out, you know, in your case. How do you get your people together and say, well, let's start doing new things, because, you know, this year is over. We got to start thinking in 2021, but now for the rest of the year, we have to create new things. How did this, work?
So this is basically, you have to think as soon as you're really close to the season, once the game starts playing, you prepare already for the next season. Okay, so right now, what we are in preparation right now, if you talk now with the decision, the impact on the business side, what obviously is, so when I say we are obviously a club that is, I call us, we are between the 3rd and the 4th division. We have a 6-digit budget, what is probably the highest budget of any NPSL teams, or WPSL, where you take those two together. But we want to do things different. We obviously want to be officially in a professional league in 3rd division. So for us, it is obviously much more planning, because you need to raise a high amount, a higher dollar amount. And for us right now, with coming up with ideas, how do we stay that people are not going to forget the Torrent only because we don't play. That's just the situation it is. I mean, we have almost 20,000 followers all of our social media. Obviously, with the esports, that was a great thing that the NPSL came up with, where we can at least have something that is active right now, where we can do stuff. We have discounts for the fans. But right now, there are two things we really need to do right now. We need to support our community. Okay. And this is why I said we cannot ask our sponsors for money when they struggle, you know? So we try to we do so many things inside of our community without even publishing on social media, because some things you just don't publish, you know, you just do them, you know? And I mean, obviously we have the sponsors that we have, they're with us for a long time. They're really loyal. We try to support them as good as we can. We gave out like face masks, for example. Bayer Leverkusen sent us face masks, and we donated them to Sobermans and to the Boys and Girls Club, you know, and those were things we didn't even publish yet, you know, because you just do this. And so the other part right now is what happens right now also have an impact on the 2021 season for next year. There will be many companies who have to look much more about where do I spend the advertising money. So for us right now is that we already prepared, that we create strong sponsorship packages, where we can really go to sponsors when the time for it is, that we can really say, look, if you be a part of the Torrent family, we can give you the brand awareness that you're looking for. It will be a strong partnership. So basically, even if we play or not, but it would be already anyway the time to prepare already for 2021.
Great. Andy, how important is soccer, football in Milwaukee? Do people relate to the sport, to the beautiful game?
Yes, they do. We have obviously, I think, over in the southeast of Wisconsin, over 60,000 kids who play, who are registered for soccer. We have many great youth clubs. We have great major clubs here. It is really important, but it is also not easy in the city. We wish we would have more support. The city, or the soccer people in the city, are a little bit, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but they are a league over club. So they don't, identification doesn't matter to them as long as the club is in a 3rd division or in really professional, you know. And I'm a little bit surprised about this, because the people that I met here in Wisconsin so far, they're all hardworking people. And I thought when they see like a guy comes in who works really hard, who is really not about the money that much, then about giving opportunities, giving something the kids to look up to, that they would support this more. But it is what it is. We do our thing. I don't look left or right. If people support it, they support it. And the supporters that we have are great supporters. We have an unbelievable board. Yeah, it's Milwaukee is a good soccer city, but it's a tough soccer city.
Take a look at this. This is something that I received this summer from my friend Patricio Córdoba,
Yeah.
who actually, get this from the guys from the float.
Yeah.
Because they are pretty great people.
Yeah.
So I really take this chance to thank them for this. This is great for me. So Andy, do people like we in South America or you in Germany, we have a special way to feel soccer, to feel football. We have a different way to feel it, very passionate. I don't know. How do you describe the way the people in Milwaukee or Wisconsin or the United States, if you want, feel the soccer nowadays?
I mean, when I think about this, and let me go back a few years when NBC streamed the first English Premier League game. This morning, I was the co-host of that game, and the reporter of the show asked me if I could explain the people in America for 10 seconds why people should watch a game for 90 minutes that can end in a tie.
Yeah.
And my answer for him was, to answer this question, I need 2 hours and not 10 seconds.
Right. Right.
Obviously, in most countries of the world, like in Argentina or in Germany, it's a religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts already. The big difference is that, in Argentina, in Germany, I say now Germany, I mean, a club is a club. Everybody knows everybody in the club. The little U8 academy players, they know the pros. Or even not even, of course, I know the pros. Let me say this different. Let me phrase it different. They know the U19 players. Everybody in the club knows each other. Here, the parents don't even know each other. It's a different culture. It's a different culture. And I also think, obviously, the biggest difference is that parents have to pay in the US so much money to be, I don't know if you know this, but it costs thousands of dollars in the US to be in a soccer club. And then what for me, the easiest way to explain parents, I mean, parents obviously see, or people obviously, they see my passion for this game. And the best thing always is when I take the parents or players to Germany and they go with me to a game, or they're at the practice facility at Bayer Leverkusen. And this is basically the best way to explain them that, because even when you sit in front of a TV and I mean, you see the Premier League, or you see
It's freezing.
on TV, you see it and you see, oh man, they're always chanting and everything. But once you see it live, then you understand it. And many people here in Milwaukee who came with me to Germany, they said after this trip, now we understand you as a person also better. Because they see sometimes people, how can you be so passionate about this? Why are you in? This is how we grew up. Yeah, right? With that totally, intensity and everything.
Absolutely. So I'm totally agree with you. Andy, you have an Argentine coach, Cacho Córdoba. Cacho played a long time in Boca, which is maybe the biggest club in Argentina. I'm not a Boca fan, but
are you a player?
No. I'm Racing.
Oh, Racing, yeah. Okay.
Racing club, but it's Racing for us.
Yeah.
So, but Cacho is great. His career in Argentina is great, and he did a great career too in the States. You had many Argentine players like Leo Arial, which is connected right now. You have many Argentine players and Latino players in the team. What opinion do you have of them? What do you like about that kind of players?
Well, the biggest difference, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, the biggest difference between players, I say non-American players and American players who come from a soccer country, is obviously their attitude towards soccer. Completely different. And I don't mean this in a bad way. We had like Tony Delafield, Jordan Gorman, Anthony Colesi, all great
Yeah,
guys,
great
all
player.
great players. It's just, you know, when you don't grow up in that soccer culture that we have it in Argentina, or Brazil, or in Germany, it is different. It is maybe a few percent more on the field that you need, just because of the way they grew up in those countries where soccer is the number one sport. It's a I see this all the time. It's a different connection to the sport between players from the US and players from overseas. But this is also part of my job and part of the development that we want to do with the Torrent, that we teach this kind of culture, and we always have our hashtag light the fire, that we let those players know, look, we are so passionate because of this, this, and this. But when you ask me, this is the biggest difference.
Yeah. Like we said, or you said before, the Torrent in Milwaukee, the people in Milwaukee, is the Torrent. It's like a family that are growing, and you are growing together. And this year, you start like a developing of the board. You add some great assets to the team, and well, suddenly everything stopped because of this pandemic. But are you planning to keep growing? You know, the club, the board, the people who, you know, give this depth in the creative and the working system of your club?
Yes, of course. We owe this to all the people who work for us. We owe this to all the players who played for us. If you don't further develop, or if you don't have higher goals, there's no development. And specifically with the people, I mean, it took me a few years, obviously, to come where we are. And it was mostly myself with a few people in the background. It can't be just me anymore. I know there are many people who have a problem with my face. People think this is all about me. Well, I don't understand how everything is about me, but it's just, you know, this is also why I needed to stop coaching at least the men's team, because it doesn't really look good on that level when you're the owner and the coach. Now we have, for the first time, I would say, like in the last 6-7 months, I have things that depend on the Torrent I don't have to worry about. And it takes, well, yeah, I mean, also with the board members. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's our board members or for our social media or for merchandise. It's just stuff where I know we have people in place that we can trust, people in place who make decisions pro Torrent and are not interested in their own wallet. You know, that's really important. Who identify 100% with the Milwaukee Torrent and what we do. So that is really good. And we obviously want to go further. I mean, if we end up in that third division, we need more people who will be completely employed by the Milwaukee Torrent. That's part of the professional standards in the US. It's still a far way, and what happened obviously right now didn't really help us. But it's not the time to put the head in the sand and to give up. So I mean, you can fall down, but you have to get up. And I think I fell down like for a minute when I really made that decision that we're not going to play. And then I got up and worked again.
Yeah. So, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep moving.
You have to.
Just, it's a decision. There's something I hear is this passion that Latinos and Europeans show, sometimes taken mistakenly as an attitude.
You know, passion comes really close sometimes for some people to arrogance. When you're passionate about something and you do specific ways a specific way, it comes with people think, oh, that's arrogant. I saw me and Cacho obviously for sure more than myself. I saw too many things already in soccer happen that I think we know how to take the players and the passion. If there are players who are arrogant, I mean, we let so far every year players go because they didn't fit in what we want to do, and maybe they thought they are a little bit better than other players, but then those players are not coming back. But yes, I agree with this, that some people that passion can take in the wrong way. Happens to me all the time.
Right. Andy, I don't know if you have more time.
We have time. Go ahead. We have time.
I imagine, just keep moving a little bit about this. I imagine that must be hard for a club like Torrent and the lower clubs, you know, those struggling clubs in the third division, for example, to be sustained without constant income, like tickets or shirt sellings or you know, every weekend games. But your vision and position are pretty ambitious anyway. What picture do you have of minor or lower league football, soccer in the USA? How do you maintain, how can you maintain this structure without playing every week? How can you, I mean, beside all the things that we are talking about, because Torrent is, I know your story, I know Torrent, I have a strong link with you and with you people, with the guys, even with some of the players, but there are a lot of hundreds of clubs and teams all through US that are really struggling to keep going, like you said.
So I think, again, you have to think the Torrent is one of the clubs. We don't have a youth academy underneath us. So there are clubs, for example, what they can do next year if they have 1,000 people, or what clubs even did this year when they started a new program, they just raised $20-$30 membership per person, and you suddenly raise another $20,000-$30,000. Well, A, it's not enough money for the Torrent. B, we can't do this. So and this is what we hired, actually, a sports economist, and talked exactly with him about this. And it's basically like, for everybody who has a household, I mean, you need to try now to spend as less money as possible. And this was also one of the reasons why I made that decision so early. Beside, like I said, first came the health of everybody, but right now, end of March, beginning of April, it's the time where you do down payments for trips and everything, you know. And we have, I can give you that example. We put money down obviously for the trip to Germany. I'm still waiting for money, and they told me I'm not getting that money back before August, you know.
Wow.
So, and if you have down payments to the bus company, to hotels, I mean, you have to think about, so far, and it sounds bad, but it's just how it is. You don't even know if the bus company survives. Right. Then you put money down, and that money is gone. Then if you make the down payments for games in June, July, what if the games gets canceled in June, July? You know, the contracts are also, many contracts are so complicated that I know, for example, even that we have a bus company as a sponsor. So we pay less money, but we still would have, if we cancel that trip like only a week before the trip, we still have to pay 20-30%. And then who gives you that money back? Not the league, not the bus company. It's gone.
Right.
You know. Right. So it's right now, the first thing is cutting expenses as much as possible, but also, and that's what I said before, we need to put our community first. And this is why we offered the people that they can get their money back for the season ticket. Our merchandise is completely reduced. We are not really pushing it out because we know people have to look where they spend their money right now. And for sure, there are more important things than buying a Milwaukee Torrent scarf or a jersey or something else. Because the one thing is clear, and this is also, it doesn't matter how big the club is. If your community is not doing well, your club is not doing well. That's as easy as it is. So right now, like I said, we try to minimize our costs, and we try to help the community as good as we can, so that we are in good stands for 2021. And that's basically what every club has to do.
you still have the plan to go for a higher league. You will try to reach USL One or NISA or wherever.
That is the plan, but it's not going to happen in the next year. That's just because of that situation. It changed so much with people it changed everything. Maybe this is a setback for 2-3 years.
I read that you might apply for a higher division.
That was the goal. That was the goal. Correct. So you can you can apply either in August or in October for third division. There are 2 windows that US Soccer gives you. And our goal was last year that we said we want to do this. We didn't want to do it rushed. We want to do everything that we have everything in order for August of this year. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So it will take a couple of years more.
We hope only a couple of years, but again, it is maybe we have to play next year with all amateur players. Again, this is going to have an impact. If we're unlucky, it's going to have also an impact to next. Sorry, my dog is barking. It's maybe also an impact to the season next year. And if you're not careful, there will be some clubs who don't play at all. I mean, right now, and again, I understand this. There are so many clubs that say, we want to play. The WPSL they want to play somehow. But I just don't see it happen. And the price is too high. And there will be maybe some clubs who wonder about if you play in June or July and you come with a family to a game, they think about spending $20, $30, $40, $50 at a game, or do they buy groceries for that money, So, I mean, even if we could play to a later point this season, like the Members Cup stuff, money will be tight with people, and every soccer club needs to make money out of the attendance, unless you have really a lot of money in the club and you don't really care. On the other side, do you really want to play in front of an empty stadium on that level where we are? In Bundesliga in England, I understand they have to play. They want to finish the season that they get their money, but that's not our case, as there are no TV contracts. So do you really want to play in front of nobody?
Yeah. You got the TV rights and all of things that you don't have.
Correct.
So in a way, you don't have to worry about that, and you can think all the way about people, about the community.
You have to.
Yeah. MLS is growing.
Yeah.
You can see every week now they're trying to, come back and short, in the season anyway. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will try, I think. MLS is growing. USL is growing. Yeah. What do you think about, the soccer's future? I mean, in the US, it is growing constantly now. But do you see that the future for the soccer is fair? And I mean, it's equal. Your club will have the same chances that another club. Is there a chance for promotion relegation thing? I don't know.
First of all, to have promotion and relegation, again, we know this because we come from different countries. Yeah. I mean, everybody can just create a league here. Everybody. You and I can create a league now. We have 10 teams. Boom. We're in 4th division in the US. I mean, it is for US soccer. I mean, there's good things that I have to say against, because it's a really big country. Soccer is still a growing sport. It's a really big country, but it's just that everything here is about the money. Everything is about the money. I mean, I know we could compete in a 3rd division. I know that. We proved it last year when we played against those teams who are now in NISA, for example. But only because we will run it on a budget that is close to $1 million. They say, well, your budget is not high enough, and I just think this is not fair. And I just don't see this happen in the US just because of baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, because this is the tradition in the US. This is how this works in the US. Why should they change that just for soccer? That is the culture. The culture is people with money buy themselves a club. Doesn't even matter if it's in their hometown. They just put it somewhere, go play. And I think, and this is the part why the soccer culture is in the US so different. Look now in Germany, the club Hoffenheim, TSG Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
15 years ago or 20 years ago, they were in the 7th division in Germany. That is a story, that is a Cinderella story that would never happen in America. It would never happen that a team constantly promotes. And okay, they had a guy with money in the back, but still the team needed to perform that they get promoted. The same with Leipzig. Good. They have Red Bull, but again, I think they started in the 6th German league. You still have to win your league. Yeah? And we all know even that it's money, but money doesn't always buy titles, right? So, right. But they did it. And I just think if we would have that system here, people would be much closer to soccer, because you can tell a story. And again, I say again, when people ask of me, look, a team like when the Detroit Lions has a 0-16 record in the NFL, with what reason other than money do they belong in the NFL? When you don't even win one game.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
again,
it happened with the first season of the Minnesota in MLS or Cincinnati last year. It was really hard for them.
Yeah.
Just they couldn't do that adjustment from USL to MLS or a new team from zero to play that high level. It's just too hard.
It's
but,
really.
But you think it's possible? How do you feel it's possible to make this change to promotion relegation at some point in the US?
I think it will happen, but not under one umbrella. So I think so. For example, there is a USL who does promotion relegation. There is maybe NPSL gets stronger. The UPSL, I think they do this already on an amateur level. I think this is possible just because the country is so big. But otherwise, I think on that highest professional level, you have the MLS. If MLS and USL, if they could come together somehow and then really, it will be challenging. It won't be that challenging to have, for example, the first 2 or 3 leagues. That's not even the challenging part. The challenging part is everything below. That is the challenging part. Just because the country is so big and there are so many clubs. Unless you really try to separate them somehow by that you really have a kind of a two-way street that you have on one side the clubs who really want to go as high as possible. And on the other side, you only want to have clubs. There are clubs, they're fine in the NPSL. They don't want anything more. That's just what they want to do. But the one thing is also clear. There's no promotion and relegation without millions, or not even millions, billions of dollars in TV money. Because there's no way that the clubs can do that without that money. There is no Bundesliga club could stay in the Bundesliga without the TV money. And when you think about how much money the TV spends for college sports in the US, but again, that's the culture.
Right.
You see the difference that they spend college money for basketball TV or soccer.
It's okay. It's okay. So, I understand. It's too obvious and well, I'm drinking mate. I don't know if you tried.
I tried it, and you know what? All the players, Leo and Santi, I thought they would at one point they would bring me one of those mate cups that I could do it myself. I tried it. I'm not a big tea drinker, but it was enjoyable, almost like a pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You like it. Okay. Well, I have to say that this is another gift that I received from you and all the guys from the club, sent it by Patricio, which is a great friend.
Yeah.
A friend that I met through the Torrent.
Through the Torrent, yeah.
Yeah. Because about a year ago, I tried to, I contact Cacho to make an interview in at that time I had that radio show, that radio program, then and I interviewed Cacho. It was a great conversation that we had. And well, after that I became friends with Patricio, and I also received this jersey, which is amazing.
There you go.
Oh, it's a beauty.
Thank you.
You have this pretty great detail down here, which is all the neighbors from Milwaukee, right?
It's actually the cities of the people who bought season tickets.
Wow! Wow!
At the bottom of
so
the jersey.
It's not just about Milwaukee. There's another city.
No. Yeah. I think we sold to more than 40 different cities season tickets.
Wow! And you even have Madison.
Yeah. Oh, we sold season tickets up to Ashland, what is I think 6 or 7 hours away from Milwaukee.
Wow. This is great.
And those
Berlin,
people, New Berlin, Oak Creek, Franklin, Hartford, Heartland, Oconomowoc. I mean, we have people from all over.
Great.
And that's what we wanted to create, that people really come from all over.
You wanted to, and you are really succeeding, tying the club with the community. This is one thing that you gotta be proud of, right?
Yes, of course. Obviously, for me, as where I come from, it is important that it's a community club, and that we stand for the community. We do so many things for the community. We work every day with kids for the Boys and Girls Club, where we go out and teach soccer, and we do other things that we don't even share, because, like I said before, not everybody needs to know. But it's important. It's important that I think we are in a lucky situation, or I'm in a lucky situation that what I could do with the Torrent. So we have to give back, and we have to give back to people who are not in a situation like I am, or who were not gifted with a talent, or who do not have the money to join a soccer club. So we're trying to help where we can.
Okay. Maxi say, hello everyone, excellent live and pleasure to meet people from the MLS. I trust this league and its content growth. My friend Chris is a pioneer, okay. And a very knowledgeable person. Thank you, Maxi. He's a friend, of course. So Andy, I don't want to take more time for you.
All good.
Gotta thank you for your kindness, and I met you in a manner of saying about a year ago. Just I asked you if I can help, because I just know about the Torrent, because there were so many Argentinian players down there, and it was Cacho also. He's still on recharge. I wanted to help. I don't know how.
And you know what, Chris? I have to tell you, you did an amazing job. We are so grateful for what you did for us, that you did the Spanish Milwaukee Torrent channel. We totally appreciate that, and we hopefully we can welcome you one day here in Milwaukee, because what you did to help for your countrymen, to support them here in the US and for the sport of soccer, is outstanding. So thank you for everything you did. So
okay.
You don't have to thank me at all. I have to thank you.
You have your dog barking, and I have my 2 dogs right here now. But I don't know if they want to take a little walk.
Probably have to go outside.
All the things that we can nowadays in Argentina, because of the quarantine, and the thing is just walk around the clock. I walk around the neighbor, our blocks, and to about 500 meters. It's a time for them to
go.
Take a walk.
No problem. All good.
So it was amazing to talk with you, to chat a little bit. It's so amazing to get the chance to get your views from the inside,
Yeah.
your insights from inside, which is something that in Argentina we don't have the chance. We had a very blurred image about soccer. It's like you said, it's the MLS is all about money, all about show, like NBA or NFL or wherever, and it's about the struggling of the lower clubs, the lower league clubs, that really gets me motivated to show what happened in the US, because it's your struggling, your work, your creative work, your everyday everyday work that keeps making the soccer grow. So I really need to do this, but I hope everybody around and everybody had the chance to see this live feed, had the chance also to understand a little bit more about how soccer is nowadays. So Andy, this is our first chat, our first live chat. I hope it won't be the last one. I think this is the first one. There's going to be more, hopefully.
We can, absolutely, no problem.
And well, best of luck for the Torrent for the 2020, because there's a lot of work to do. And just to end this conversation, what is in the radar for the Torrent to the 2021? I mean, playing, of course, but you will keep esports, maybe?
We keep esports we keep. I mean, obviously now this is a great thing to do, to improvise, that there is something that we're involved with. But like all the big clubs, I mean, esports is big. Esports is so big. And like I said, it's grateful that the partnership that the NPSL has with VPG in England. I think it's great that we can play really 11v11. That is big. And we're going to keep this. It gives also our sponsors another platform, that we can where we can make where we can do brand awareness for them, and pushing, talking with people who are willing to invest with the Torrent, new sponsorships, that we can fulfill our dream in third division, and otherwise developing players, having fun, being a community club, being there, doing stuff for the kids. So business as usual, with the high expectations as always.
Okay. Andy, thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. See you soon. Thank you.
No problem.
Give my regards to everybody in Milwaukee, everybody around the club. Maybe good friends that I made in this year. See you soon.
Thank you, Chris. All the best to Argentina. Thanks to all the people who are watching. Thanks to all the supporters. We have a lot of supporters in Argentina who follow us on social media. So, but in general, everybody in your country, stay safe. It is right now, there's nothing else we can do. Stay safe, stay home, and be good to each other. Thank you, Chris, for everything you do. Okay. You have all my love. Stay safe to you and your family. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Same to you, Andy. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So this was Andy Davi, which is the owner and general manager from the Milwaukee Torrent, dueño y manager general del Milwaukee Torrent, un equipo de la tercera división de Estados Unidos, o cuarta división, y que, bueno, se prestó gentilmente a charlar con nosotros. Espero lo hayan disfrutado. Una forma, como recién charlábamos, era en inglés, la única forma que teníamos de comunicarnos correctamente. Aquellos que quieran verlo, lo voy a dejar guardado, la charla aquí, para poder revivirla cuando quieran. Y mi idea es, obviamente, a través de USL Argentina, poder no solamente mostrar cómo viven o cómo les va a los jugadores argentinos en esa liga, sino también, ¿por qué no mostrar un poquito cómo es esa liga? Cómo se está desarrollando, cómo está creciendo, los problemas y las buenas y las malas, ¿no? de esa liga que nosotros disfrutamos tanto, y que ojalá ustedes también disfruten a partir de lo que nosotros les contamos. Así que bueno, gracias por estar ahí, gracias por haberse conectado. Thank you so much, everybody. Muchas gracias. See you soon. Nos vemos. Chau, chau.